All right, guys, I've got a 2020 RXTX 300 and a lot of confusion on which depth finder goes in it. We know that a GTX Limited 300 and this ski is identical basically except for paint. So make a long story short, you used to have to get into the fuse box and everything else and pull pins out and put little pins in and everything else. Now it's a one-piece wiring harness, so we're going to see if we can get into it and knock it out pretty quick and maybe help someone else out here a little bit as I kind of meander my way through it. So here we go. Guys, this is the 3M 5200 fast cure. From what I understand, the slow cure would be just as fine. It's not even a stronger bond, so there's no reason not to use this. The other one is just to give, when you're building something, a lot more time to work with it. So this has more than ample work time, which I think is 1 hour. I think the other one's work time is like 2 days. So the fast cure was what I went with. There's your mount. It's going to go down. I've already opened this up and taken a look at it. Here's the depth finder. It's not as big in your hand as you would think. From pictures from ones I've seen, they look gigantic. The thing's actually really small, to be honest, and pretty light. Here's the $10,000 question everyone has. This is the wiring harness that goes with it. There is the model number in case anyone wants to know exactly what it is. I think it's about $150 almost to buy it by itself. The whole kit as you see it, if you buy it in the kit combo, it's only $379. That's a 3 amp inline fuse is all that is. So if you open that up, I've already taken a look at it. It's got a little fuse in there. That's it. So nothing to do, but this end will plug into here. Your port in the front, your diagnostic port, will come into here, and then that'll be your new diagnostic port. Zip ties, and there's my jelly pad, but I need to take a few things off and get ready so we can glue down this mount. What I'm going to remove first, and I know what has to come off from looking at the manual and everything else, is the first thing that has to come off, of course mine being supercharged, is the air intake. It's going to have to come out of the way, and then we'll take a look and see if we can figure out what else to do. This is how clean and how mine looks inside. You can see I have one of the carbon shields on there. It couldn't hurt a single thing. I have a very thin line down there, and I've watched mine for a while. You can see the line over here. It's not gotten any worse from the past an hour and a half. Mine wore in very quickly, and there has been no more wear whatsoever. So I check everything over pretty often. But getting back to our topic here, looking right down here is what it looks like is going to be where our unit is going to go. So let me get my light here positioned here a little bit. There's no real good place for anything in here. And from what I understand, that dude's going to go about right there like that. Let me get to the other side. You can probably see it better. About right there. And it's angled so that it sets on the angle of the Sea-Doo absolutely perfectly. So shouldn't be any problem. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can slightly scuff with some 1000 grit sandpaper the hull. The instructions say to take isopropyl alcohol and clean it. I'm going to slightly scuff it to take any sheen off. Then I'm going to wipe it with isopropyl. And then we're going to get the 3M 5200 and see if we can get this dude glued into place. But before I even do that, I'm going to plug everything in and actually make sure that the thing actually works to begin with. So let's do that now. As I plugged it in back here, obviously it's not going to give me an accurate reading of any kind laying up here. And I've run the cable up and it's just laying on top, as you can see, plugged in all the way up here into the diagnostic port. There's the new diagnostic port. I just want to see if the thing comes on and actually reads out on the dash. So let's find out. Wake the ski up. There's the key. From what I understand, you are supposed to be able to scroll through over here on the side. Let's see. Speed stat, settings, RPM. Let's go to settings. Trip, range. Because I'd run into a huge problem. I could not get the thing to recognize anything at all. When I powered it up here on the screen, it would not do anything. So just to simply test it and to make sure it works before it is installed. As you can see, it's plugged into the diagnostic port. There's your new diagnostic port. And I found out something really interesting. Until the unit is near water, it will not come on. So I did a quick test. This, of course, is full of water. And as long as it's sitting right on top of the water, even in it a little bit, watch what happens. It works instantaneously and flawless. Let me go ahead and grab my key over here, wherever I put it. And it works perfectly fine. Evidently, it must see water, and the instant you move it away, it will deactivate. Ski comes on. As you can see, it has recognized the sensor. See the sensor indicator right there, and it automatically defaulted to depth because that's where I left it last time. I can move it out. There it is. As you can see, we can come back here and we can move it and take it out of the water. And as we do, it is activated. See, it disappeared. And you'll notice when I come across it now, the ability to see it is gone. As you can see, with a line coming around, so I know exactly where to put it back when I glue it. And what I'm fixing to do is take, and I'm going to slightly scuff the area with a little bitty piece of sandpaper. It's about 320 grit, ever so lightly, and then I will go over it with isopropyl alcohol like the instructions say, and then I'm going to glue the bracket down and let it set overnight. We are glued in. As of right now, it's going to have to set and cure till in the morning. It's the next day. Everything has cured. I have installed the wiring loom. I came up here, plugged it in, had some of this plastic mesh stuff, so I ran a piece pretty long and ran it and tucked it in up here, zip tied it right there, came underneath and zip tied it down to the main wiring loom. As you can see, came right around, right down, all the way down here, and then my piece comes down, zip tied it here, zip tied it here. On my plug, I put a tiny bit of dielectric grease around it, same one on the front end. This is clipped in, fit absolutely perfect. It's an easy install. You don't have to take a single thing off. The instructions say you have to remove the water box over here. None whatsoever. It's not even remotely close. In fact, you couldn't install it on that section over there. The hull's not flat. It's got a curve to it. The only thing whatsoever you have to take off is the air intake from the supercharger to right here. It takes about 2 minutes. This is actually a very easy install.